The candles flickered, and I kept staring at the clock. 8:03 p.m., she was late. Again, I called out softly, "Lena. You said you'd be home by 7. Silence. Just the sound of the rain tapping against the window. I smiled to myself, trying to pretend it was fine. Maybe she's stuck in traffic, I whispered. She'll walk in any minute. I'd set the table her favorite pasta, a bottle of red wine we'd been saving for this day. Our 5th anniversary. I even printed out the old photos she loved. Us on the beach, at the carnival, under fireworks. They used to mean everything. At 8:15, I heard the door unlock. My heart jumped. Finally, I said, forcing a laugh. She stepped in, holding her purse close, eyes avoiding mine. Hey, that one word, flat, tired, hit harder than I expected. You're late, I said gently. I thought maybe something happened. Traffic, she said, setting her keys down. I nodded, waiting for her to smile, to notice the candles or the dinner. She didn't. Did you eat? I asked. Yeah, with some coworkers. The room felt colder. Oh, I thought we were celebrating tonight. She looked at the table, the plates, the photos, then looked away. I forgot. My throat tightened. You forgot. I've been busy, Ethan. Busy enough to forget the day we met. The day you said changed your life. She sighed. Please don't make this harder. I repeated. Lena, I've been waiting all day for you. I cooked. I stopped. My voice broke. I thought maybe you had a surprise. She stayed quiet. I moved closer, searching her face for warmth. You're not even looking at me. Did I do something wrong? Her eyes glistened for a moment, then hardened. It's not you. I just can't do this anymore. I blinked. What? I'm leaving, Ethan, the word echoed. Leaving. It didn't sound real. I laughed nervously. Leaving where? It's raining, and it's our anniversary. You mean you need some air, right? No, she whispered. I'm moving out. My chest went cold. You're joking. She shook her head. I've been meaning to tell you. I just didn't know how. Tell me what? That everything we built 5 years means nothing now. Don't make it dramatic, she said softly. People grow apart. People? I snapped. We're not people, Lena. We're us. She flinched, turning her gaze to the floor. I don't love you the way I used to. The words felt like glass in my chest. So that's it? After everything, you just stop. It's not sudden, she said. You just didn't see it coming. I stared at her. Then, tell me why. Tell me what I missed. Her lips trembled. You didn't miss anything. I did. I changed. I wanted to scream, but my voice came out as a whisper. You could have told me before tonight. She looked up, eyes wet, but distant. Would it have made a difference? Yes, I said quickly. It would have hurt, but not like this. Not like you, walking out on our anniversary. She stepped back as I moved closer. Please, don't make me feel guilty. Guilty. I laughed bitterly. You think I want that? I just want to understand. There's nothing to understand. I stared at her hand, the ring I gave her. She noticed and slowly slipped it off. You should have this back. My breath caught. Lena, please don't do that. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry, Ethan. She turned toward the door. I said quietly, so that's it. You're just walking away. Yes, you can't even look at me and say goodbye properly. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Goodbye. I stood frozen as she walked out, the door clicking shut like the end of a chapter I never wanted to finish. The room felt empty. The candles still burning, the food untouched. I stared at the chair she'd sat in every morning, the way she'd laugh and steal my toast. All of it felt like a dream someone had snatched away mid-sentence. My phone buzzed. A message from Caleb. Happy anniversary. Man. Hope it's a great one. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. She's gone, I whispered to myself. She's really gone. The rain got louder, or maybe my thoughts did. I don't remember moving, but I found myself at the table, staring at the ring she'd left behind. It shimmered under the candlelight like it still belonged on her hand. I picked it up slowly. You said you'd never take this off, I murmured. My voice cracked, but no one was there to hear it. I tried calling her once, straight to voicemail. I didn't try again. I sat there for what felt like hours, replaying every moment. Our first movie night, her stupid jokes, the way she'd hum when cooking. Everything replayed, but now, it all felt fake. Like someone else's story, I whispered. Was I not enough? No answer. Just the sound of rain, and my own breathing. When the candles burned out, I stood up and walked to the window. Her umbrella was gone. So was she. The city lights blurred through the glass. My reflection looked like a stranger, tired, hollow, broken. I took one last look at the empty room, and said, she didn't even say goodbye. The morning light hit my face, but I didn't open my eyes. The silence felt heavier than the night before. I could still smell her perfume in the sheets, soft, floral, haunting. I whispered to no one, she's really gone. My voice cracked, and I swallowed hard. I dragged myself out of bed, the floor cold beneath my feet. The apartment looked like a memory frozen mid-breath, 2 cups on the counter. Her scarf on the chair, the half-burnt candle that still smelled like vanilla. I said quietly, you left everything but me. The words hung in the air, my phone buzzed. Caleb. I let it ring once, twice, 3 times before answering. Hey, Ethan, man, you sound awful. What happened? You didn't pick up last night. I hesitated. She left. What do you mean she left? I mean, she walked out. Packed nothing. Said she couldn't do this anymore. He went silent for a moment. You're kidding. I wish I was. Was it a fight? Did something happen? I sank into the couch, running my hand through my hair. No fight. No warning, just gone. Caleb exhaled loudly. Jesus, on your anniversary? Yeah, I said softly. Happy anniversary to me. He cursed under his breath. I knew something was off, Ethan. She's been distant for months. I know, I whispered. I saw it too. I just pretended not to. Do you want me to come over? I looked around at the mess, her coat still hanging, shoes by the door, photos of us on the wall. No, I said. Not yet. I need to be alone. Are you sure? You shouldn't be by yourself right now. I'll be fine. He didn't sound convinced. You don't sound fine. I'm not, I admitted, my voice breaking. But I will be, eventually. He was quiet again, then said softly, you don't have to pretend with me, man. I'm not pretending, I said, though even I didn't believe it. He sighed. Eat something, okay? And call me if you need anything. I mean it. Yeah, thanks, Caleb. After the call ended, the silence returned louder this time. I sat there staring at the framed photo on the coffee table. US at the carnival 2 summers ago, her head on my shoulder, laughing eyes bright. I picked it up, my thumb brushing over her face. How can someone look so happy and still leave? I set the photo down, grabbed my phone, and opened our album. Hundreds of pictures, beach trips, dinners, selfies. Tiny moments that used to mean everything. My chest ached just looking at them. I scrolled until my hand started shaking. Then, without thinking, I tapped delete on one. Just one, the phone asked. Are you sure you want to delete this photo? Yes, I whispered. The screen blinked, and it was gone. Just like her, I sat back and stared at the blank space where the picture used to be. The emptiness felt strange, sharp, but freeing. Like I'd cut something loose inside me, I murmured. Maybe this is how letting go starts. My phone buzzed again, another message from Caleb. You okay? I typed back, trying. He replied instantly. Don't bottle it up. You need to talk. I smiled weakly. I don't even know what to say. He sent another message. Say whatever hurts the most. I stared at that line for a while. Then I said out loud, it hurts that she didn't fight for me. Not even a little. The room didn't answer, but it listened. I got up, walking to the kitchen. Her favorite mug sat by the sink, the one with the chipped handle she refused to throw away. I picked it up, ran my thumb over the crack, and whispered, you said it had character. My laugh came out bitter. Guess we both did. I placed it back down carefully. I couldn't throw it away. Not yet. I walked through the apartment slowly. Every corner felt alive with ghosts. The couch still had the dent where she'd sit and read. The mirror still had her lipstick smudge from last week. The walls still held her laughter. I said quietly, "Everything here remembers you better than I do." I sat back on the couch and opened my laptop. Work emails filled the screen. Meaningless, mechanical. I closed it again. The rain had stopped outside. I thought about going out, but the idea of walking through the city alone felt unbearable. Caleb called again. I answered after 2 rings. "You sure you don't want company?" he asked. "I'm sure," I said. "If you come, I'll just start talking and never stop." He chuckled softly. "Maybe that's not a bad thing." I smiled faintly. "Maybe not today." "Okay," he said. "But promise me something." "What?" "When you wake up tomorrow, open a window. Let some air in. Don't let this place swallow you." I looked around at the dim room, the heavy air. "I'll try." He paused. "You always do." We hung up, and I leaned back, closing my eyes. I could almost hear her voice again, laughing, humming in the kitchen. Teasing me about my terrible singing, I whispered, "You took the noise with you." The quiet didn't answer. It never would. I reached for my phone again, scrolling through what was left of our pictures. So many smiles, so many lies hiding in plain sight. I deleted another photo, then another. My chest tightened, but my hand didn't stop trembling this time. By the 4th one, I paused and whispered, "Enough." I set the phone down and exhaled shakily. The ache was still there, but it felt cleaner somehow, like a wound starting to close. The night outside grew darker, and I stared at the last photo still on the wall, the one I couldn't take down yet. Us, on the balcony, her arms around me. I walked up to it slowly, touched the edge of the frame, and said, "You'll go soon too. Just not tonight." I turned off the lights and sat in the dark, listening to the hum of the city through the window. "Maybe this is how letting go begins," I whispered, and for the first time, I almost believed it. It had been 4 days since Lena walked out. 4 days of silence, unanswered texts, and an apartment that smelled like her perfume but felt like a tomb. Then came the knock. Maya. I blinked at her, standing in the doorway, holding a box. "What are you doing here?" She hesitated. "Lena asked me to drop this off. Said it's yours." I stared at the box, cardboard edges soft from handling. She couldn't come herself. She thought it'd be easier this way. Easier for who? My voice cracked before I could stop it. Maya shifted her weight. "Ethan, I didn't. She just said you'd understand." "Understand?" I let out a short, bitter laugh. "Yeah, sure. Perfectly clear why your girlfriend leaves without a word after 5 years." Her eyes flickered. "Maybe it's not my place then, don't say it," I cut in, but something in her expression told me it was already too late. She took a deep breath. "She didn't just leave, Ethan." The air tightened. "What are you talking about?" Her voice dropped. "She left with someone." My stomach twisted. "Who?" Maya looked down, guilt painting her face. "Ryan." I froze. "My business partner, Ryan." She nodded, barely audible. "They've been seeing each other for a while." The room tilted. My heartbeat slammed against my ribs like it wanted out. "You're lying." "I wish I was," she whispered. "I didn't mean to tell you." She said she'd explain when what? I snapped. "When I'm too numb to care." Tears welled in her eyes. "She didn't want to hurt you." Too late. My fists clenched. "You should go." She hesitated. "Ethan, please go." When the door shut, the silence wasn't empty, it screamed. I sank onto the couch, staring at the box. My reflection wavered in the black TV screen. I could still hear her laugh, Ryan's voice echoing from old meetings. The clink of glasses, promises exchanged between supposed friends. I opened the box. Inside were photos, a sweatshirt, a half-empty perfume bottle. My chest tightened. I picked up one of the photos, Lena on my shoulders at the beach, Ryan grinning behind the camera. A bitter laugh slipped out. Of course, I called him. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. Coward, I muttered. My thoughts spun faster than my breath. How long did he look at me across the conference table and think, I'm sleeping with your girl? My phone buzzed a message from Maya. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told you like that. I stared at the words until they blurred. Then I typed back. No, I needed to know. But I didn't hit send. Instead, I threw the phone across the couch and stood. I wasn't thinking, just moving jacket. Keys, rage. The night was cold, my breath visible under the streetlights as I drove. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. Ryan's house wasn't far. Familiar road, familiar betrayal. When I pulled up, his driveway was full, her car right there beside his. I killed the headlights and sat in the dark. Through the window, light spilled into the yard. I saw movement, her silhouette. Then her hand brushed his arm. She laughed. That sound, God. That laugh used to be mine. I felt something inside me fracture. All the nights of building dreams, the plans we made, the trust I gave, it all came down to this. Her smile and someone else's home. My jaw tightened. Every muscle in my body screamed to storm inside, to make them see what they'd done. But I didn't move. I just stood there, staring through the glass, heart hammering in my throat, hands shaking. Her laughter echoed again, soft, intimate. He touched her face. I swallowed hard, breath uneven. You picked him, I whispered. The cold air bit my skin, but I barely felt it. I took one step closer, the gravel crunching beneath my shoes. And for the first time since she left, I wasn't just heartbroken. I was furious. I stared through that window one last time, my voice barely a breath. She didn't even say goodbye. I stood there, staring at the door, my pulse slamming against my ribs. For a second, I almost turned back. Almost. Then I knocked footsteps, a click. The door opened, and there he was, Ryan. Same face I used to trust, same eyes that once looked at me like a brother. Now, I couldn't see anything but betrayal. Ethan? His brows lifted like he was surprised. What are you doing here? You tell me, I said, my voice already shaking. Thought I'd drop by and see how business is going. He stepped back, arms crossing. It's late. Not too late for you and her, apparently. The smile faded. Behind him, Lena appeared, wrapped in one of his shirts. My chest tightened so hard it hurt to breathe. Ethan, she whispered. Don't. My throat burned. Don't say my name like that. Not anymore. Ryan sighed, like this was all some inconvenience. You shouldn't have come here, shouldn't have. I laughed, sharp and bitter. You steal my girlfriend and tell me what I shouldn't do. It's not that simple, Lena said, stepping closer. It looks pretty simple from here, I snapped. You packed up, walked out, and landed in his house. Simple enough. Ryan ran a hand through his hair. Ethan, we didn't plan this. It just happened. That's what people say when they want to feel less guilty, I said. So tell me how long. Lena's eyes darted away. Silence. How long? I shouted. 3 months, Ryan said quietly. 3 months. The words hit harder than I expected. So all that time you were sitting in my office, talking about expansion, you were sleeping with her. He didn't answer. He didn't have to. Lena's voice broke. I didn't mean to hurt you. Then why did you? I asked, my hands trembling. You could have told me. You could have ended it before this. Tears welled in her eyes. I tried when, between dinners with him. Ethan, stop, Ryan said, stepping forward. You're angry, I get it. Don't you say you get it? My voice cracked. You have no idea what you've taken from me. He exhaled, jaw tight. You had everything, Ethan. The company, the attention, the respect. Everyone looked at you like you were untouchable. I was always in your shadow. So you took the one thing that wasn't yours, I said coldly. His gaze hardened. She wasn't yours either. I almost hit him. My fist tightened until my nails dug into my palm. You have no idea what I want to do to you right now. Lena stepped between us. Please don't. Why? I said. You scared? I'll ruin your perfect little fairy tale. This isn't a fairy tale, she said quietly. We just. Fell apart, Ethan. You and I, long before Ryan. Her words sliced deep, sharper than any blade. So it's my fault now. No, she said, tears streaming down. But I couldn't keep pretending. You were drifting away always at work, always somewhere else. He was there when you weren't. Don't twist this into some tragic love story, I snapped. You made a choice. I did, she whispered. The finality in her tone left me hollow. Ryan cleared his throat. You should go. I turned to him slowly. You really think this ends here? I'm not your enemy, he said, though his voice trembled. I laughed under my breath. You were never my friend. The silence stretched between us like a taut wire. My chest rose and fell too fast. I needed to get out before the rage did something I couldn't take back. I stepped back, my hand brushing against the doorframe. You know what, Ryan? He looked up. You both deserve each other. Lena flinched. I turned and walked out before the tears could win. Outside, the night air hit me hard, cold and sharp. My legs moved on autopilot, carrying me to the car. I slammed the door shut, hands gripping the wheel. Then it all broke loose. Damn it! I shouted, punching the steering wheel again and again until my knuckles stung. Damn it! My breath came out ragged. The dashboard lights blurred through the sting in my eyes. I leaned forward, forehead against the wheel, and screamed until my throat burned. Silence followed, thick, heavy, final. I closed my eyes and saw their faces again. Her tears. His smug calm. My own reflection, cracked down the middle. But underneath the ache, something shifted. A strange clarity. Small but fierce. No more begging. No more waiting for answers that wouldn't matter. I started the car, the hum filling the silence. My reflection stared back from the rearview mirror, tired, broken. But still here. I will not beg, I whispered. The headlights cut through the dark street ahead. I will rebuild. And for the first time since that night, I actually believed it. The office had become my second home, or maybe my escape. I buried myself in numbers, designs, deadlines, anything that kept me from thinking about them. Caleb dropped a file on my desk. You're overworking again. I'm being productive, I said, without looking up. He leaned against the desk. No, you're hiding. I sighed. Maybe hiding's the only thing keeping me sane. Ethan, you can't keep living in that loop. You've got talent, man. Use it. Don't let them take that to... I looked up at him. My eyes, tired but steady. What if it's already gone? It's not, he said. You're still here. That's enough. I wanted to believe him, but the words barely touched the hollow inside me. A knock came at the door. A soft voice followed. Hi, sorry to interrupt. I'm moving into the studio next door. I looked up. A woman stood there with a camera around her neck and sunlight in her hair. Emma, she said with a smile. Photographer. Ethan, I replied. Workaholic, she laughed. A sound so easy it startled me. Well, Mr. Workaholic, I might borrow your printer sometimes. If that's okay. Sure, I said. It's not doing much anyway. Neither are you, Caleb muttered under his breath. Emma tilted her head. Tough love, huh? Always, Caleb said. Someone's got to keep him human. After she left, Caleb gave me a look. See? The universe still sends good people. Or distractions, I said. Same thing sometimes. The next few days, I heard her laugh through the wall. Sometimes, she hummed while editing photos. It was strange how that sound began to fill the spaces Lena's silence left behind. One afternoon, she appeared at my door again. Coffee break. I don't take breaks. Then I'm kidnapping you, she said, handing me a cup. Black, no sugar. You look like the type. I smirked. You guessed right. We sat by the window, steam rising between us. She talked about her photography, the way she chased light, not people. I found myself listening, really listening, for the first time in weeks. She noticed my quiet. You look like someone who's trying too hard to look fine. I raised a brow. That obvious? She smiled gently. Only to someone who's been there. I hesitated, fingers brushing the cup's rim. It's been rough. You don't have to tell me, she said softly. Just, don't forget, you're still allowed to smile. I let out a small laugh. Feels strange when I do. Then keep doing it until it doesn't. Her words stayed with me long after she left. The next morning, Caleb walked in and froze. You're smiling. Should I call the press? Shut up, I said, though I couldn't stop. He grinned. Emma, huh? She's different, I admitted. She doesn't try to fix me, just listens. That's rare, he said. I nodded. Yeah, it is. Days blended into weeks. Work became lighter, my thoughts clearer. I wasn't healed, not even close, but something inside me was changing. Emma stopped by one evening, camera in hand. Mind if I take a few shots? You've got that lost soul finding direction vibe. I chuckled. Is that supposed to be flattering? Completely, she said, lifting her lens. Look this way. I did. The shutter clicked. Perfect, she murmured. That's the look of someone who's still fighting. After she left, I stared at the space she'd occupied, the echo of her laughter still hanging in the air. For the first time, the silence didn't hurt. I leaned back in my chair, exhaling slowly. The ache was still there, but it wasn't all-consuming anymore. Maybe healing wasn't about forgetting. Maybe it was about learning to breathe again in the same space where everything once broke. I opened my phone and scrolled through old photos, Lena's smile. Our trips, the life that ended without warning. My thumb hovered over the delete button. Not yet, but soon. I looked out the window at the fading light and whispered, maybe this is how it starts. It happened months later, quiet, almost anticlimactic. No thunder, no drama. Just whispers. I was in my office when Caleb dropped the news. You're not going to believe this, he said, waving his phone. I don't do believing anymore, I muttered, still typing. Ryan's company, total mess. Investors pulled out. Lawsuits coming. I stopped mid. What? He grinned. Guess Karma finally checked her calendar. For a second, I didn't react. Then, a small, dry laugh escaped. He stole that deal from me, remember? Oh, I remember, Caleb said. Guess he couldn't keep it together without your brain. I leaned back in my chair, letting the words sink in. Huh, that's it. Just huh? He asked. What else should I say? The universe already said it better. Caleb laughed. Man, I was expecting fireworks. Me too, I admitted. But it feels quiet, peaceful. Even he nodded. That's healing for you. Boring as hell, but worth it. Later that night, I got a text from Maya, Lena's old coworker. You heard about Ryan? It's bad, I replied, so I've been told. She sent another. Lena lost her job too. The firm cut her after the scandal. I stared at the screen for a moment. Then, Karma works overtime, huh? Her reply came quick. Guess so, you okay? Better than ever, I wrote. And for once, it wasn't a lie. The next day, Maya called. I saw Lena at the cafe. She looks different. Different how? I asked. Tired, lost, maybe. She asked if you were still in town. What did you tell her? That you're doing great, and that you're not the same guy she left. I smiled faintly. Thanks for that. She didn't look angry, Maya added. More like regretful. I paused. Regret doesn't fix broken things. No, she said softly, but maybe it makes her realize what she broke. That night, I sat by my window, city lights stretching beyond the glass. I thought about them, Ryan scrambling to save what he built on lies, Lena picking up the pieces of her own choices, and me. I was still standing. The irony wasn't lost on me. I didn't have to lift a finger. Life did the math for me, quietly, brutally, perfectly. Caleb called later. You seeing the news? Not really, I said, sipping coffee. They're done, man. The board voted Ryan out. Public statement, coming tomorrow. I laughed, low and genuine. You sound happier than I do. I'm just glad you got justice without losing your mind. Maybe I already lost it, I said, smirking. But it feels good, he chuckled. So what now? Now? I looked around at the office I rebuilt from ashes. I keep working, keep breathing. Sounds healthy, he said. I'm proud of you, bro. After the call, I sat there in the quiet. For months, I'd wanted some grand payback, something cinematic. But this was better. They fell apart without my help. That's the beauty of truth. It always shows up late, but never misses a target. The next afternoon, I ran into Emma in the hallway. She noticed the small smile I couldn't hide. "Good day," she asked. "Maybe the best," I said. She tilted her head. "You look lighter." "I think I am." "Care to share why?" "Just old ghosts losing their power," I said. She studied me for a moment. "You sound like someone who finally forgave the storm." "Not the storm," I said quietly, "but maybe myself for standing in the rain too long." Her lips curved into a soft smile. "That's progress. It feels like freedom." Later that evening, Caleb sent me a link, a headline flashing across the screen. "Ryan Cole steps down amid scandal and financial collapse." I didn't even read the details. I just sat back, smiled, and let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding for months. Lena's face flashed in my mind, her voice, her lies, her leaving. For the first time, it didn't hurt, it just existed, like an old scar that no longer stung. I thought about deleting the last photo, the one I'd kept hidden, the one I wasn't ready to erase before. But I didn't delete it out of anger this time. I did it because I finally could. When the photo vanished, I whispered to myself, "Goodbye, and good luck." Emma texted a few minutes later, "Dinner tonight. You sound like someone who needs to celebrate something." I smiled. "Yeah, maybe I do." As I locked up the office and stepped outside, the night felt warmer. The world somehow quieter. I didn't need revenge anymore. I didn't need closure from them either. Watching their downfall didn't make me cruel. It reminded me that pain doesn't last forever. But lessons do. I laughed, soft and real, under the glow of the streetlights. Not because they suffered, but because I finally didn't, and that, I realized, was the sweetest kind of revenge there was. I wasn't expecting anyone that night. The knock came just as I was making coffee, soft, hesitant, like the person on the other side wasn't sure they deserved to be there. When I opened the door, Lena stood in the hallway. Her eyes were swollen, makeup faded, shoulders hunched like the world had finally grown too heavy. "Hey," she whispered, voice trembling. I didn't move. "What are you doing here, Lena?" She took a shaky breath. "I didn't know where else to go." "That's not true," I said quietly. "You always had somewhere else to go." She flinched, but didn't leave. "You look different," she murmured. "Calmer, happier." "I am," I said simply. Silence stretched between us, filled only by the faint hum of streetlights outside. She looked around my apartment, like she was searching for traces of the man she used to know. "Do you ever think about me?" I almost laughed. "Sometimes. Mostly when I remember who I used to be." Her lips trembled. "I made a mistake, I know. I thought I was choosing love," she continued, voice cracking. "But it wasn't love. It was noise, excitement. I thought you were too calm, too safe. And then I realized that peace isn't boring." I finished. She nodded, tears streaming. "Yeah." I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "You could have said that before breaking me." "I didn't know I'd lose you for good," she whispered. "You didn't lose me," I said. "You threw me away." She covered her face, shoulders shaking. "Ryan's gone. The company, he blames me for it all." "That sounds familiar," I said softly. "Ethan, please," she said, voice cracking. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I needed to see you. I needed to know if you still hated me." I looked at her, not the woman I loved, but the stranger who taught me pain could also cleanse. "I don't hate you," I said finally. "That's the problem." She blinked through her tears. "Then what do you feel?" "Nothing sharp. Nothing heavy. Just ... quiet." Her breath hitched. "Do you ever wish things were different?" "Sometimes," I admitted. "But if they were, I wouldn't be standing here knowing who I really am. She took a small step closer. Can we at least talk? Just for a minute. I shook my head. Talking was what we should have done years ago. Now it would just reopen things that finally healed. She reached for my arm, but I stepped back. Her hand froze mid-air, trembling. Ethan, she whispered, I miss you. I miss the version of me that used to need you, I said quietly. But he's gone. Her face crumpled. You've changed. I had to. I don't know how to do that, she sobbed. You will, I said gently. Just not with me. She shook her head. You're really walking away, aren't you? I already did, I said. Tonight is just the moment you noticed. Her tears fell freely now. Please, don't. I opened the door wider, not slamming it, just creating distance. Goodbye, Lena. She looked at me one last time, eyes full of regret, lips trembling with words too late to matter. Goodbye, Ethan. When she walked away, her steps echoed down the hallway, fading, breaking, gone. I closed the door quietly, not with anger, but with something softer. Peace. For the first time. I didn't feel the urge to fix or destroy anything. I just breathed. I sat by the window, watching the night fold around the city. Her voice lingered like a ghost, but it didn't hurt. It was just there, a shadow that no longer scared me. Maybe this was what healing looked like. Not fireworks or revenge, but silence that finally made sense. I smiled faintly. Not because she suffered, but because I didn't anymore, and for the first time, that was enough. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone in hand, the room dim except for the soft glow of the screen. The old folder blinked back at me, Lena and me. For months, I couldn't open it. Tonight, I did. The first picture loaded her laughing, sunlight tangled in her hair. I remembered taking it after she threw a water balloon at me. Smile, or I'll throw another, she'd said. And I had. I whispered to the empty room. We looked happy. Then, quietly, I hit delete. Next came our anniversary photo, her hand on my chest, my arm around her waist. You'll never leave me, right? She'd asked that night. Never, I'd answered. I swallowed hard. I lied without knowing. Delete. One by one, I went through them. Each image felt like a heartbeat I'd been holding onto too long. A vacation selfie. A blurry midnight dance. Her face lit by candlelight, whispering, You make me feel safe. Delete. Halfway through, I stopped. My thumb hovered over another picture, her asleep on my shoulder during a road trip. Back then, I thought peace meant keeping her close. Now, I knew peace meant letting go. Click, delete, dot. My chest didn't ache anymore. Just quiet. The kind that feels like breathing after years underwater. My phone buzzed. A new message. Emma, still awake. Coffee, tomorrow. I stared at her name for a moment. Emma, the friend who'd stayed through the silence. The one who never asked me to forget, only to heal. Me. Yeah, I'd love to. 3 words. Simple, calm, real. I set the phone down, exhaling slowly. For the first time, I didn't look back. I leaned against the wall, letting my thoughts drift. Healing wasn't dramatic. It didn't announce itself. It was quiet, like this night, like the small smile tugging at my lips. I used to think closure came from confrontation, from seeing her regret, hearing her apology. But now, I understood, closure was me, choosing peace without her permission. I opened the last photo, the one from our anniversary. Candles, wine, her red dress. The night she smiled across the table and said, to forever. The same night she left. I stared at it for a long time. My reflection glowed faintly on the screen. Older now, steadier. Forever ended, I murmured, but I didn't. My thumb pressed down. Delete. Silence followed, soft and final. I looked out the window, city lights blinking like tiny promises. Somewhere out there, Emma was probably reading a book, waiting for tomorrow's coffee that wasn't about love or loss, just presence. Maybe that's what growing felt like. Not replacing, not forgetting, just living again. I picked up my phone and scrolled through the empty folder. No photos, no ghosts. just space. For a moment, I thought about re-downloading them. The sentimental part of me that still believed in memories. But then I smiled. I didn't need them to remember. I needed them gone to move forward. The clock ticked softly in the background. My heartbeat matched its rhythm, slow, steady, alive. She walked out on our anniversary, I said aloud, my voice steady, almost peaceful. But that night, I found myself, and this time, I didn't delete that thought. The wind brushed against my face as I stood by the sea, camera in hand. Waves curled and broke like slow applause. Emma laughed softly beside me. Every sunset looks the same, she said. I glanced at her. Maybe. But every time, I feel something different. She tilted her head. And tonight? I smiled through the viewfinder. Peace. For a while, we didn't talk. Just the rhythm of the sea, her quiet humming, and the click of my camera. I'd forgotten how silence could feel comforting, not empty. Emma stepped closer. You always look so serious when you shoot. What are you thinking? I lowered the camera. That pain, it doesn't disappear. It just changes shape, into what? Perspective, she smiled. The kind that didn't ask for explanations. I took her photo then, hair catching the last light. Eyes steady and kind. Keep that one, she said. I will, I replied. It's not about forgetting anymore. She looked toward the horizon. You talk like someone who's lived 1,000 years. Feels like it, I said, laughing softly. But I guess pain ages you in strange ways. The sun dipped lower, bleeding gold into the sea. I breathed in the salt air. The moment, the stillness. Once, I thought happiness came from having someone. Now I knew it came from being whole without them. Emma nudged me gently. You okay? Yeah, I said. For the first time, I think I really am. We watched the sun sink completely. The light faded, but I didn't feel loss, only warmth. The kind that lingers, even after everything else goes dark. I raised the camera again, took one last shot, the empty horizon. Perfect, I whispered. Emma smiled. What do you see in that? An ending that finally feels like a beginning. She slipped her hand into mine. Then let's keep walking. I nodded. Yeah, let's. As we walked along the shore, waves chased our footsteps but never caught them. I thought about Lena once, not with anger or ache, just gratitude. She was the storm that broke me, and somehow, the reason I rebuilt stronger. Pain had shaped me, taught me where to stand, what to let go of, and how to start again. I turned to Emma, who was laughing at a seagull stealing someone's snack. That laugh, light, real, filled the air, and when she looked at me, I smiled back. Not the practiced one I used to wear, not the forced one people expect. A real one. The kind that stays. Life, I realized, always begins after it ends.